Hi, I'm Ling Ling, and this is my presentation about uncertainty reduction theory. Uncertainty reduction theory was developed in 1975 by Chalabres and Burchalas to moderate uncertaintiness in communication among strangers. The theory is also referred to as initial interaction theory. The theory is outstanding as it is the only one that has analyzed on the initial communication between strangers before they actually interact. It has asserted the fact that when people are meeting, they need to have sufficient information about the other person. Uncertainty reduction theory has insisted on getting information from the stranger just with the initial interaction. Burchalas has shown the connection that occurred between the theory and variable of development of a relationship. Besides, the theory has divided the initial communication with the stranger in three key parts, which includes the entry phase, personal phase, and exit phase. All these phases are essential for any interactions, and all of them have key distinguishing features. For instance, in the entry phase, the participants are not free with each other. They have doubt and are not ready to open up in conversation. Such actions will keep decreasing over time as communication progresses to the next phase. From the theory, the first interaction is usually not good for many people as most of them would shy speak in details. From this, it is clear that the uncertainty reduction theory describes the interaction among people for the first time before actual conversations on the issues they had. People can, therefore, predict the behaviors of others from the initial interaction, which are vital to developing an effective relationship. Uncertainty reduction theory has been developed under different assumptions. These assumptions are essential to developing the theory. Among the assumptions that have been included as follows. The first one is, on first interactions, people usually feel uncertainty on others. The second one is uncertainty focuses people to others and therefore causes unnecessary cognitive stress. The third is strangers desire to predict others with their initial communication. The fourth is interpersonal interactions have many stages and assist in reducing uncertainty among strangers. Over time, people will change the content and volume of information they share, and people's action and behaviors can be predicted. In such a time, the people are in the exit phase of communication, whereby uncertainty has been completely minimized. People minimize uncertainty by vocal communication, non-vocal communication, eye contacts, nodding and smiles, seeking of information, disclosure of personal details, and a need for future communication. The article chosen is the effects of dynamic work environments on entrepreneurs' leader behaviors, based on the uncertainty reduction theory. The article selected for this study focuses on the constant dynamic environment that entrepreneurs encounter as they operate their daily business activities. It has been confirmed that the entrepreneurs have limited knowledge of the impacts of the dynamic environment on their business. The impacts of the changing environments have resulted in the entrepreneurs collaborating with various subordinates to moderate the impact imposed by the dynamic environment on their daily operation activities. From the article selected, it has been proved that most entrepreneurs cooperate with the different subordinates to minimize the impacts of the dynamic environment on the success of the business. Additionally, the core aim of the collaborations is to enhance the accessibility of the business operational activities to a constant changing environment. The collaborations realize that there is a positive correlation correlation between the dynamic environment and the humble guiding behavior of the entrepreneur. Therefore, it is with the efficient that the entrepreneurs will cope with the emerging changes in their working environment. The intolerance of the entrepreneurs to uncertainty in their working environment enables them to restore the correlation between the dynamic business environment and the guiding behavior of the entrepreneurs. The dynamic environment that has really threatened the performance of most business entails the cutthroat competition, changing technologies, interfeit, financial incomes, and unpredictable market demand. Such an emerging trend in the business environment should be explored to seize the beneficial opportunities for the business in its market. Therefore, the entrepreneur's leader behaviors should be proactive to chance in the market for the success of the business. This is due to the fact that the predictability of the market demand is not guaranteed, and therefore navigating to the peak level of the market becomes a problem. In the article that has been selected, both the primary methods of data collection have been employed. The primary method of data collection were questionnaires and interviews. The questionnaires that were used were both open-ended and closed-ended. They were developed in a manner that could easily be understood by the respondents. The participants who were a part of the research were selected randomly through probabilities simply to reduce bias. From the selections, 194 entrepreneurs and subordinates from 2 business incubators based in China were involved. Of this sample size, 136 males and 58 female entrepreneurs were involved. The average life expectancy of the organization was 29.39 months. Of the 2 business incubators, one incubator was for internet education and the other one for high-tech firm. To further increase accuracy and reduce bias in the research, all the participants were given a unique identification number for confidentiality. Such a move would ensure that the data collected reflects the actual occurrence in the market. Data collection was also done at an interval of 14 days to reduce bias. CFA analysis was done to ensure that the variables were free from bias. Data analysis tool used M+ 7.4 to undertake the CFA. Once the CFA analysis was done, the results was as follows. From the data, descriptive statistics were tested, mean variance and SD. The feedback indicated that the dynamic environment is correlated with the feedbacks where F is 0.208, p-value is under 0.01, while the humble leader has y of 0.208 and a p-value of under 0.01. The details can be shown in the table below. From uncertainty reduction theory, there is a positive relationship that exists between the non-statistic environment and behaviors of a humble leader. There are moderate models that exist between changing environment and behaviors of a humble leader. Feedbacks are the solution because of naivety and intolerance towards any form of uncertainty. A link between the leader and the changing environment is developed with boundary condition. From the experimental results essentials, implications of entrepreneurs can be outlined as follows. Most entrepreneurs consider the dynamic working environment as a huge tragedy to them. This has resulted from entrepreneurs understanding the negative impacts of the dynamic environment on their leader behaviors. However, the dynamic environment can positively impact on the entrepreneur's humble guidance behavior. The dynamic environment sensitizes the entrepreneurs to be flexible and susceptible to any emerging phenomenon. Therefore, in fact, reaction to the change is essential for the success of the entrepreneur. Additionally, the dynamic business environment is vital as it arouses the moral of the reduction theory. According to uncertainty reduction theory, an entrepreneur's work environment and the entrepreneur's leader behaviors have a positive relationship. Through establishing a testing model, you can prove that the dynamic working environment impacts on the entrepreneur's guiding behavior. Entrepreneurs' behaviors are impacted through moral enhancements, which are referred to as feedback-seeking motivation. The high prejudice of the entrepreneurs on uncertainty result to the weakening of the impacts caused by the dynamic working environment on the entrepreneur's leader. Behavior and the study focus on the connections between the dynamic entrepreneur's environment and the guiding behaviors. Thank you so much for watching.